Welcome everyone. We will be getting started shortly here. We'll be getting started here shortly, just waiting for a couple other attendees to join.
Yeah, I think so.
All right, everybody, welcome and thank you for coming. My name is Cameron Carlson, and I'll be presenting alongside one of our best Clarksville realtors, Chris Childs. And today we're going to be talking about the topic, Clarksville, Tennessee. Let's take a look at some new construction homes, some great opportunities, cash flow appreciation, some affordability. And yeah, with that being said, we're going to get started here. So, 1 second here. Awesome. A little bit about me is I'm a licensed realtor. I've worked in 4 different divisions of the company here at Marshall Reddick. I've had the opportunity to kind of see a little bit of everything and piece it together. I have my bachelor's in business from Vanguard University, and I've done real estate transactions in 7 states, and I'm also a Marshall Reddick mortgage fund investor myself. And for those of you that might be familiar with Marsh Reddick, but some of you might not. And the best way to explain Marsh Reddick is that we are a full service real estate firm, and there's basically 4 divisions of our company. First division is we are a real estate brokerage. So we help people buy and sell their investment property as well as buy and sell their primary residence. And nationwide, we did around 600 transactions last year, and 90% of those were investors. And of those transactions, we actually manage a majority of them too. And that brings us to our second division, property management. So we take care of everything from for the landlord, whether that be leasing, maintenance, renovations, rent collections. We obviously enforce the leases, and we do much more. That way the landlord, you as the investor, basically all you need to do is collect the rent check every month. And the third division is private lending. So sometimes if you can't qualify for conventional financing, you'll need private financing. Marshall Reddick provides non-owner occupied real estate loans to borrowers, a lot of times doing fix and flips, new construction, or just purchasing investment property for long hold. And the fourth division is our mortgage investing. So I mentioned that I am a investor in our Marshall Reddick Mortgage Fund. The best way to explain is the same way that you can own real estate and collect rent checks. You can invest in mortgages and collect mortgage payments. So there's 2 ways of doing that. You can be a direct lender, or you can invest directly in the fund, similar to what I'm doing. Personally, it's where I don't have to think about it and I just collect the quarterly distribution. But within all of this, like I mentioned, I am a real estate advisor here. And so let's go over some of the topics we're going to be covering today. So we're going to be talking about Clarksville, how it's an underrated suburb outside of Nashville. We're going to take a look at our Clarksville team, our office, some of our accomplishments, and we're also going to be looking at the advisor role, the realtor, and how we make that connection and really what those next steps look like. We're going to talk about new construction, take a look at some of the pros and cons, some amazing opportunities that we have at hand, as well as we're just going to go over some examples and things that we expect from you. We want you to take notes. We want you to learn something today. We hope that you ask questions in the chat. Any detailed questions that you have, feel free to write them down. We can talk about them or go over them later or in a follow-up call. Be ready towards the end of our presentation to scan a couple of QR codes that take you to links on our website to find some awesome resources. And essentially the entire presentation and the slideshows will be shared with you after we're done here, likely tomorrow. So Marshall Reddick is located in 11 metropolitans across the United States. And you can see that here on the map. So we've got the Bay Area, we've got Los Angeles, Orange County, Riverside, California, and then in Austin, New Braunfels, San Antonio, Houston are going to be our Texas locations. In Tennessee, we've got Clarksville and Nashville. And then in Florida, we've got Cape Coral, so that southwest area. And sometimes you might be wondering, why these states? Why these markets? Well, as an investor, it is very important which market you choose, and there are several reasons why we selected these markets. And we're going to go over those first. We really want to look for markets with good economic growth, right? Low unemployment rates, stable job market. Second is we also want the market where there is a high rental demand. These markets are very landlord friendly, as you'll probably notice in the markets that we selected, and they have a good ratio of renters to homeowners. Also, these markets are very diverse in their economic industries. We like to see a variety of essential industries like military, medical, insurance, communication, information technology. Also, it's important that the market has a lower barrier of entry. And what I mean by that is, are houses affordable for investors, right? Maybe the suburbs have more affordable, family-friendly neighborhoods in a larger market, like Nashville, and that's why we're talking about our Clarksville market today. And we also want good education systems. This leads to well-educated tenants and more desirable school districts, and maybe there's a university nearby as well. And so also, one of the most important criterias is reliable property management. There should be a good selection of property management companies that are competitive with one another to produce good service, right? You don't want to be stuck in a market that's only got two property managers, and if you don't like one, you're kind of stuck with going together. So that's another good indicator that it's a good market. And we'll talk a little bit more about the property management side of it later, but with that being said, I'm excited to introduce our main speaker today, Chris Childs. Chris Childs is a good friend of mine and one of our best realtors out in Tennessee. He's got some opportunities he's going to talk about, and he's going to kind of dive more into those topics here today. With that being said, here's Chris.
Thanks, Cameron. Hey, everybody. Yeah, I'm super excited to be here tonight and share with you some of these new construction builder opportunities that we were presented with ourselves, and just think it's a fantastic deal for investors. We've already had several who had taken advantage of some of the opportunities we've had here, and we're excited to share all of them with you this evening. So I've been a licensed realtor in the Nashville, Clarksville area for going on 9 years. So a lot of experience. I've sold several hundred homes in and around the area, so I'm very familiar with, the ins and the outs of both cities. I need to update my chart here because I just realized it says 7, but actually going on January will be 9 years, so time flies. One thing though, like I said, and like this opportunity I'm bringing to everybody this evening is I do whatever I can to find off-market deals because usually that's where the best opportunities are. And so that's exactly what we're going to take a look at tonight. These are not listed homes. These are new construction inventory. Some of the homes that we'll talk about tonight are already tenant occupied. So that takes a big piece of the puzzle out of the equation for investors having a home that's essentially turnkey. And one last thing about me, I do own rental property myself in the area, always looking for my next one. And so with that is the same lens that I use when I'm evaluating properties for my investors. Is this a home or a deal that I would personally take if this were the opportunity for me at the time? And so I think that definitely gives my investors the upper hand for finding the best deals that we have in the area. A little bit more about me. This is my family. We are growing. We just had our third son. Actually, he'll be, matter of fact, he'll be 2 tomorrow. So his birthday is right around the corner. This picture was from last Christmas. We've got to get an updated one in here as well. The map to the right of this slide, these are the homes that we own. The home just south of the Sango area in Clarksville, it's the middle house in the picture there, but that is our current residence. And then we just bought a new rental near downtown Clarksville, and then we also have a rental in Pleasant View. So those are our growing portfolio. This is our fantastic team and office. We just moved into this office a couple of years ago, and we're continuing to grow. So we are quickly outgrowing this space. But this is our team here to the right. Just some of us anyways, not nearly everyone is pictured, but we just won an award, which I'll show you in the next slide. I think Cameron hit on this, but I just want to emphasize that here in every local office that we operate in, we have everything under one roof. So in our office, I'm on our sales team, but I work right alongside our property management division, our maintenance team. We also have access to our private lending department. So everything is truly under one roof here at Marshall Reddick. And this is an updated photo. Again, not nearly all of us were able to make it out to the photo, but a really awesome award that we just won actually last month. Our company was voted this for 2 years in a row now, the best real estate company in Clarksville. So that's something that we're all really proud of here. And All right, Cameron, do you want to just touch on kind of our management area for a moment?
Yeah, so what you're looking at here is this is going to be a map of properties currently under management, which is really cool. If you take a look at Clarksville there, it's very densely populated. So we have a little over 400 properties under management, and this is updated quarterly. So we'll have an updated map after the quarter coming to an end here, which, you know, we're going to be excited to show a little increase in the number there. And something else you'll notice is that we're actually expanding further and further into Nashville. So Nashville is going to be another area that we're growing, but we'll kind of touch more about what we do as far as management goes. But this is going to give you an idea of our portfolio size and you know where our extent of management is.
Definitely. So this is just kind of a zoomed in view of Clarksville to help you get a better idea of the local market. Right in the very center of the map where you see the words, where you see the word Clarksville, that is our downtown area. It does have a really nice riverfront downtown that has been very revitalized over the past 5, 6 years. A lot of new restaurants, a 6,000 person arena just opened. It's got a full size ice hockey rink. But a lot of trendy shops, things like that are coming into our downtown. So it's really great to see that growing. As far as the colors on the map that we're looking at here, they're a broad indication of rent rates and where homes lie in our metro area here in Clarksville is in terms of, you know, high end, low end, mid range, in terms of what they would rent for. So the red and orange areas are a little bit lower rents, and then the green areas are going to be your more affluent, higher end properties here. And not many purple areas in Clarksville. There are some select key areas, but that would be in our luxury price range. So Clarksville has been rapidly growing over the past several years, ever since, you know, we opened an office going on 4 or 5 years ago here in Clarksville. Home prices have more than doubled almost since we opened here, but the population, as you can tell, would tend to be growing with that sort of growth as well. So it's right over 200,000 in the Clarksville metro area. But it does cater to a younger demographic where the median age here is around 32. So a lot of families, it's a very family-oriented, friendly city. Schools are highly rated for the greater Nashville area in terms of that. And, you know, just overall, there's a lot to do for families, lots of parks, lots of activities all year, festivals and things like that. So it's definitely growing. The income, average income here for Clarksville has also greatly gone up, but just a few years ago, it was hovering around only around 50,000, and now that's boosted up even further. So around 63,000 was the latest numbers that we were seeing for average income. So it's good to see that growing as well. So these are what I would just say are top 5 reasons that people are moving to Clarksville. If you've looked at homes, if you've ever seen homes prices for Nashville, they are about double still what the same size and type of home would cost in Clarksville, which is only around 45 minutes away. So it's a rapidly growing suburb, very close to Nashville, with high affordability compared to other homes in the greater Nashville area or in the metro area of Nashville. Lots of job opportunities. So I like to tell people that Clarksville really has 3 main demographics. We have, of course, the second largest military base here in Clarksville, Fort Campbell. So a large portion of the population in Clarksville is military. And then we have a second demographic. Those are going to be the more blue collar jobs, which are offered right here in and very close to Clarksville. So a lot of manufacturing, production, job opportunities right here in town. And then we have the third category, which are going to be more of your white collar jobs. Some of those people are working from home. Some of them are, managers and higher up leadership in the local businesses here in Clarksville. And then we have a lot of people who actually do commute into Nashville. So they'll drive 45 minutes to an hour, but for a much higher wage job. And they choose to live in Clarksville for its affordability in terms of housing costs. With that said, I've mentioned this a couple of times, but of course, overall, it is close to Nashville. So if you like sports, if you like music, country music especially, Nashville is very close by. It's easy to get to for all of the bigger events that happen out that way. And then also Clarksville is very close proximity to a lot of higher learning opportunities. So right here in Clarksville, we have Austin Peay State University, which is the 5th largest state university in the state of Tennessee. And then we are also really close to Nashville, which has affluent schools like Vanderbilt, Belmont University, and then, of course, just south of Nashville is the largest state university in Murfreesboro, and that's Middle Tennessee State University. So a lot of schools close by for that. And then the overall quality of life, as I mentioned before, there's lots of recreation to do in Clarksville, tons of nature trails. There's rivers that people go fishing, canoeing, paddleboarding, all that good stuff. And then a lot of the local events. We have a lot of live music. And as I said, the downtown is really revitalizing. So a lot of those events are hosted through that space. But these are the top 5, but there's many more. If you just come and visit Clarksville, I'd love to show you around and show you all the things happening and the growth here in our city. Another thing, if you haven't noticed or seen any articles, just to point out, is that Clarksville has been in the news quite a bit as one of the top cities to live in. In fact, it won just a little while ago the hottest zip codes in the country in terms of affordability and all of those reasons that we just talked about. So it's winning some awards as far as great places to live. Again, here's some more of those awards. Top zip code, as I said, it was ranked as one of the fastest, in fact, the 5th fastest growing real estate market in the country. As I said before, it is home to Fort Campbell, the 2nd largest military base. One thing that we have seen is a lot more military is coming to Clarksville. If you're familiar at all with military towns, which Clarksville is a military town, it has been for a long time. So when you think of those, you may think of a lot of people leaving a lot. And while that does happen, while we do see soldiers PCS'd and moved out of Clarksville into other towns, we tend to see more soldiers actually moving to the area. So that's not something at all to be worried about. And again, we won the 4th best city in the nation by Lightcast. So just tons of awards happening for Clarksville. As I mentioned, a few of the top employers here, we can see, of course, as I mentioned, the U.S. Army base located here. We're starting to get a lot of auto and vehicle related companies and businesses moving to the area. So we do have both Bridgestone tire and Hankook tires are produced here locally. On the next slide, I believe I'll show you some more information about the new LG chemical plant that's being built here in Clarksville, but that will be the nation's largest electric vehicle battery manufacturer, and they picked Clarksville to open that plant. And we're also seeing medical industries growing and coming to the area, as well as some technology companies. So a lot of variety in our industries that are in Clarksville. This is just an overview of where our industrial area is. It is to the east of Interstate 24. That's the interstate that connects Nashville and Clarksville. So it's separated from the wider residential neighborhood. So they've got a really good city plan here in Clarksville for where they've allocated land and properties for these businesses to grow. Excuse me, but as you can see there, a lot of properties are available. We've got a lot of committed businesses that are already coming in here and investing a lot of money into Clarksville. So that's a really big sign, as I'm sure a lot of you know, as an investor, when you're looking at a town, you want to see this growth. You want to see that these businesses are coming here, because that just means that future values are most likely going to continue to increase in a positive direction. Again, just a little more highlights on that LG Chem plant that's coming here, but major investment. I believe I saw an article that said it was the second largest company investment in the state of Tennessee. So $3.2 billion plant and space coming right here into Clarksville. All right, so let's get down to the heart of our seminar today. So I told you a lot of information about Clarksville, a lot of reasons why people are moving here. But let's take a look at these awesome opportunities coming up here in just a couple more minutes. But why, first of all, let's just talk why new construction. There's a lot of different avenues that you can look at in terms of existing homes, value add opportunities, and things like that. But new construction has a really special place, I think, for investors, maybe even better for new investors. And we'll talk about some of those reasons now. So this is a short list. I'm sure there's a lot more reasons that we can come up with, but these are the main reasons that we thought of what are the pros of buying new construction. So the very first one comes to mind as a new investor. I've seen and heard stories of people who, got hit with a major maintenance expense, unexpected HVAC going out, roof needing to be replaced, major costs that can eat up your cash flow, any hope for cash flow for, even a couple of years with that kind of an expense. So buying new construction takes a lot of that guesswork out of it. Because you're buying something that's brand new. Everything about the home is brand new, and there's very little that you'll need to worry about, at least for the first several years. Not sure if every builder is offering these same opportunities, but this builder that we've partnered with here in Clarksville, specifically, his name and company is Bill Mace with Bill Mace Homes, and they are offering some major incentives and discounts to purchase these homes right now, because with interest rates still where they are, it's keeping the buyers on the sidelines, and so they're getting motivated to start moving some of these properties. So that's where we can take advantage of that before we start seeing the interest rates coming back down and the surge of buyers coming back into the market. Another thing that I hear when I've leased these new construction homes from the prospective tenants is that they're excited to be able to move into a home that nobody's ever lived in. So the tenant wins also in this situation. They're getting to move into a brand new home. Again, these homes are move-in ready with the package and incentives that we have secured from this builder. Literally from day one, when we close on this property, we can start to begin to market this home and get, again, sorry, because I did say this before, we do have a select inventory of homes that are already rented, and we'll talk more about those. But we also have with this same builder, homes that are still under construction, where we're the listing agents on those homes, and we can get the incentives such that they are move-in ready at closing. And then, of course, your home comes with a guaranteed 12-month. For the first 12 months, you get the builder's warranty, which covers anything the builder could have done that might break during that first year. So there's really little to no risk at all in that first year because you do have that builder's warranty, and that's a full coverage warranty. And then after the first year, some of the smaller items definitely tick off of that warranty, but the larger items remain. Some of them for 5, some of them for 10 years. But that covers things like the foundation, and some of the more major systems and parts of the home. So these are some of the main reasons that we believe new construction is a great opportunity and way to go. When we try to think of the cons list, it actually was a little difficult to come up with a bunch of reasons, but these are a few that we did think of that could be cons to buying new construction. If you're buying a home that is still under construction, there is the risk that there could be potential delays during the construction process. But in order to really manage that, we can look at homes that are much closer to completion so that we're not as at risk with that situation. So just a quick little cheat sheet, some ideas and ways to think about this is when we are looking at these communities, being the first in the first phase, especially of a community, is a great place because you do often see that price continue to increase as they sell more homes in that community, or even being the last phase in a community where you can tell it's got solid rent rates, it's a desirable area and neighborhood. But right now, all of these are continuing to grow in these communities that we'll be looking at today. So you are still actually buying in on the first phase of those communities. Buying in smaller size and established neighborhoods. So again, where we're looking at these homes are already in and around growing areas and neighborhoods. So these aren't in tertiary areas or markets, and they are all relatively smaller in size, but that's definitely something to be on the lookout for in a new construction neighborhood. And then, on the micro or macro level, you could think of this in terms of the homes that we'll be looking at to be the worst player on the best team, right? So obviously you don't want to buy the absolute maxed out home in the neighborhood with all the luxury finishes and that sort of thing, because it may be harder to see a bigger return on that type of property. So we'll be looking at some of the smaller to mid-size range homes that are being built and stay on that side of the team. And then another reason that we chose to even partner with this builder, and another reason that he's building in the neighborhoods and areas where he is because they are in great school districts. In fact, Clarksville has some of the best schools in the area. So that's something to know as you're looking at new construction homes as well. So as I said before, it's not a great idea to buy a house that's like just starting to be put up, foundation. You want to wait till they're dried in, probably, to start putting offers on that type of home. But within 1 to 4 months out is a safer bet, even as close as you can to being completed. That way, there's just no unexpected delays with the homes. Then investing in these communities that you would feel comfortable living yourself. I've toured many investors who've flown into town in these same neighborhoods. I've sold in these neighborhoods, so I personally believe in them. But I feel very confident that if you were to come here and drive through them as well, you would feel comfortable living in them. All of them have sidewalks. Some of them have street lights. They all have underground utilities, so it's a very just very well managed neighborhoods. Buying into areas with major growth opportunities. Again, that's exactly why we're looking at these homes today. They are in some of the most rapidly growing areas of Clarksville. And then in terms of relative size, just looking at homes kind of in the more mid-range is a good idea. It's a safe bet. 3-bed, 2-bath with a 2-car garage is an ideal property. However, for Clarksville specifically, we do tend to see 4-bedroom homes rent for more. So it just depends how the numbers look in terms of sales price and rent rates and all those great things. But 4-bedroom homes or 3-bedroom homes with a bonus room have definitely been a great desirable home for the tenants that we've been placing here in Clarksville. All right, without further ado, let's take a look at the incentives, the locations of the neighborhoods of these homes that we'll be taking a look at today. And then that way we can run the numbers, see what it looks like, and talk about scenarios that might work for you. when you're looking at these homes here in Clarksville, Tennessee. So I said this also before, but these are, we're going to look at a mixture of homes. A couple of these are going to be the tenant occupied homes that I mentioned. We don't have a lot of them. I'd have to check our numbers here. I think we may have 7 to 10 of the tenant occupied homes left. So those may go away, but we still will have access to tons of new construction opportunities that, at least for the moment, we're still going to be offering a great incentive package on those as well. So again, here's the incentives kind of broken down for you to take a look at. The homes that we've got access to that are tenant occupied, they start at the low threes, and that's also around the same price point of the neighborhoods where the homes that we have also as still under construction are located. These are going to be some tenant occupied homes. However, with these, we're going to have immediate income with the tenant occupied homes, not the same with obviously the homes that we may have to still rent out, but with either of those, you will get the $10,000 credit. We've seen some investors choose to take that off the list price. We've seen some choose to allocate that to a rate buy down. So, there's different mixtures of that we can come up with that would work best for you. But that is an incentive that we've been told we can offer to our clients. These homes will come with a rent ready package. So whether you're buying the homes that have already been tenant occupied or the new construction, we will make sure that it comes with the refrigerator and window blinds already installed. Not sure if this way nationally, but here locally, whether it's Bill Mace or any other builder, they are not putting a refrigerator and blinds into homes unless we negotiate that. So that's something that we have already pre-negotiated for our clients, but would be included with this deal. Something that Marshall Reddick is doing, we are offering as part of this package 1 free year of property management. That's up to $2,300 that you'll save. And then also we will lease the properties for free. And that's up to a $1,200 value. So around $15,000 that we have to work with to get you a fantastic deal right now while there's still these opportunities. Because again, a lot of people are predicting rates will start to come down next year. Inventory is still super low overall when we look at our numbers. So we know what that means with increased demand, low inventory. We know prices are going to start to go back up. I'm pretty sure these incentives will go away. So that's why I just want to make sure we're taking advantage of that during these slower months when we still have that opportunity. So here's the 4 neighborhoods where Bill Mace, it's not the only 4 neighborhoods. In fact, he's been a builder in Clarksville for over 20 years, well-known name. He's the only builder that's building in this price point. If you look at a lot of the other new construction, we're seeing, homes in the high 3s up into the 400s, even $500,000 range for a lot of the new construction. So we're getting a very quality product at an affordable price. And these are the 4 neighborhoods that we're primarily selling in at the moment. So Cardinal Creek and Cedar Springs, you'll see to the north central part of Clarksville, very conveniently located to the interstate. Also, that's a rapidly growing part of Clarksville where we see a lot of new businesses, a lot of restaurants and things like that are opening up in that area. Irish Hills, which is about in the center of the map here, is another Bill Mace neighborhood. It's a little different scene when you go there. The Cardinal Creek and Cedar Springs neighborhoods are more of kind of an upbeat vibe. They're, like I say, close to everything. They're already in very established neighborhoods and areas. Irish Hills is a little bit tucked in. It's actually backing up to the Clarksville Greenway. So there's a nice park access there, but it's very green and lush as you're driving out to Irish Hills. So that's another very desirable neighborhood. And then to the southeast, you'll see the neighborhood called Clover Glen. And Clover Glen is actually located in Sango. Sorry, I had to take a quick drink. So Sango is one of the most desirable parts of Clarksville. it's the highest price range that you can get in terms of home prices. We see homes in that area well over $1 million, which is like top tier for here in Clarksville. But on average, homes out in Sango are around 400 to 500,000 compared to some of these other areas. So there's not very many homes left in Clover Glen, but we do have a couple of opportunities there as well. All right, so jumping right in, this is one of our tenant occupied homes. So this is a brand new home. It was built just right at the end of 2022, leased near the early part of this year in 2023. And as you can see here, it is just a fantastic home located in the Cedar Springs neighborhood. If you go down uh, if you go down this side, you can see the list price of this house is $348,900. Now, we factored this with only a 30% down payment. That's something that I want to just emphasize here. With rates where they are, it's going to be really hard to see a high cash flow, even with a 30% down payment. But as we predict, rates will most likely go down in the future. So that's an opportunity to refinance that home into a lower rate at that time. But something that I feel very confident is that we are not going to see home prices coming down very much. So in fact, as soon as those rates come down, I believe we're going to see another increase in home prices. So this is a time where you can lock in the price at its market price today and refinance that in the future. But with this particular property, we have factored in your free property management for 1 year. We've put in all the numbers. Right now, this house is rented for $22.50. And after your fixed monthly expenses, this home is cash flowing about $247 a month with that 30% down payment. So really great cash flow in terms of numbers that we've seen recently for a home that's already turnkey and can be yours. Like I say, it's still available as of today. So, but if you are interested, we can talk more specific numbers, and Cameron or myself would love to set up a call to do that with you. The second option, it's a different floor plan. This one is in the Clover Glen neighborhood. So this is one that is still in the Sango area. Like I said before, it's the top rated area of Clarksville. And, it's going to be really tough to find these prices, I'm sure, in the near future. So this house also already rented. It's priced at $328,900. Again, we only factored a 30% down payment here, but with these numbers, home rented at $1,900 after your fixed monthly expenses. Monthly income is a little low, again, looking at the numbers this way, but if you factor in all the incentives that we've got, all the savings that you're going to get, and the likelihood that we'll be able to increase this rent over time, we're going to see that number continue to go up, and you're going to see your home appreciate nicely and know that you're in one of the hottest areas of Clarksville. And the third option that I wanted to go over with you tonight, this is an example photo. It's not the actual home, because this one is one of our under construction homes. But if you're looking for a property that's very close to 300,000 and in a very desirable area, this one's priced at $309,900. Still comes with the incentives that we've discussed here. The estimated rent, again, we haven't leased it out, but comparing it to the other similar homes that we've seen and leased in this neighborhood, rented right at $1,900 a month, should produce around $30 a month in cash flow. Again, that's only 30% down. If you could pull a little bit more off, we can increase those numbers and get those up a little bit more for you. But again, all of these are producing about break even or even a little higher than that cash flow. We'll be happy to go over some of these specific properties with you in more detail later on. All right, Cameron.
Thanks, Chris. That was great job. Appreciate all the detailed information. Excited about these opportunities, and I'm excited to talk with you guys more about them on a follow-up call. And like I mentioned earlier, just want to briefly touch base on property management because, like we said, property management can kind of make or break your investment. So when it comes to our property management, it's important to know how we operate. A lot of our staff members, whether those be realtors or management staff members, either own or aspire to own real estate. And because of that, we actually kind of base our property management as if we are investors ourselves. So what I mean by that is we believe that we should only profit when you as the investor profits. And we charge a percentage of the rental income you receive, and we don't charge a fee during vacancy. Also, we don't charge for maintenance. And I'd be happy to talk to you more about our management services on a follow-up call as well. But just giving you an idea of why and how we operate on the management side. And to kind of continue on that, why Marsh Reddick Property Management? Why is it important? So the reality is every management company does something similar. You're going to see a management fee, a leasing fee, a lease renewal fee. They're going to handle maintenance. They're going to handle day-to-days with the tenants. The important thing is how they do it. Every company's got a fee, but every company also has a how. So when it comes to us, it's important that, it would suggest that you find a company that has really good management software. We utilize Appfolio. It's one of the biggest management softwares on the market. It's very seamless and easy to use as owners, as tenants, for us on our end as well. Something else is there a conflict of interest for maintenance? So when it comes to maintenance, our company's profiting from maintenance. A lot of companies use this as a profit center. They might charge a lower management fee, but then they'll make 30% of their profits based on their maintenance charges. Something else is the cost of the service, right? What's more important? Because you can find someone to manage your home for a very, very low cost, but they're probably going to offer you a very, very low quality of service. So you also have to realize what your goal is as far as management service. Do you want a hands-on? Do you want a full service? Or do you want that kind of hands-off? You want someone that's responsive. When you send an email, when you call, when you send a text, you want a response immediately, or at least within 24 hours. So that's something else to consider when choosing a company. Take a look at online reviews. Look at any management company you research. Look at them on Yelp. Look at them on Google. Look at Marsh Reddick on Yelp. Look at Marsh Reddick on Google. Look how we were rated, top in Clarksville. Do the same thing for any other companies that you're looking at. And then last but not least is take a look at how you end the policy, right? And what's the cancellation look like? Are they going to make it very difficult for you, or are they going to work with you? And is it a reasonable cancellation policy? That's kind of, some questions I would encourage you to ask when choosing management. So like I said, if you guys have your phone, if you want to go ahead and scan the QR codes, to learn a lot more about what we're talking about, you can find everything and more on our Learn page. So we have a lot of videos, we have articles, guides, ebooks, and a lot of different resources for you to do research as well, more than just what we're doing here on the webinar. And if you like taking a look at what we're doing here in Clarksville, go ahead and download our data packet. You can look at a lot of the research that Chris is talking about is going to be in this packet, and even more. I encourage you to do some of your due diligence and research as well, and we'd be happy to kind of break them down and talk further into it. But like I said, all these resources are available, as well as we have an ebook discussing our properties on our website. What do the different property classes do? What kind of property classes do we recommend? And that's all going to be found on our website as well. So for next steps, we would love to schedule a consultation. Feel free to reach out to myself or Chris. Let us know if you have any questions. Write them down, any questions here, and feel free to send those over to us. We'll go ahead and go over those on a follow-up call, and we really do appreciate you guys for joining us today. And yeah, thank you very much.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Cameron.
Yeah, take care.